going to explain you that how to print the sum of the natural numbers by using the for loop, while loop and do while loop. I'll give you as a task to do it by your own. Here I go. Hashtag include studio.h. After that, I'm going to write int main, int n, printf, enter n, enter n, or you can write enter the number, scanf, %d, as we are entering the integer value, ampersand n, and then I'm going to apply. And as I have to print the sum of the numbers, like if it has asked for the seventh 1 to 7, so sum of 1 to 7 means I need to add 1 2 3 4 5 6 in this manner. So, and I need to store that value in a container also. So initially I'm initializing like int sum equals to 0. Okay, now what I'm going to do, that I'm going to apply like for loop for int I equals to 1 and I greater than or equals to n, and then I plus plus, and then I'm going to print the sum of the numbers, like sum equals to, as I have already made a container outside the for loop, so sum equals to sum plus I. So sum plus I, and I'm going to, it's a very simple code for printing sum. Printf %d, comma sum, and then I'm going to put return 0. So let me show you. First of all, here we are taking the input like till which we want the sum to be printed, and I have created a container outside, not inside, because if we would have created the container inside the for loop, then what would have happened, that each after like if it once we are declaring it over in sum equals to 0, now sum plus I would be done, then again that means the value of sum would have not been fixed, it would have again changed the value according to the condition. So here we have fixed the value in sum equals to 0, and now it is gonna to be added over here like 1 2 till nth term. And let's run this code. And if there is a bit, if like you are learning the first time, it might be like you won't be able to get about the int sum, why, like if we are writing it inside, then what it's going to happen, I'll show you that. Let's first run this code. Enter the number. Suppose I entered 5. The sum is 15. 5 plus 4 plus 10 plus 15. It's the right answer. And now you see, when I would have been declared this int sum inside the for loop, then what would have happened over here? Let me show you. Int sum equals to 0. Let's declare it over here. Now you are going to see the answer. Each time it is going to change its value, and you have to, and each time the first thing is that it has to change the value, and due to the variable scope, you would be aware like whatever the value or variable which we are making inside the any loop, it is valid till that time only, and if we are making in the main part, it is valid everywhere. So you suppose I have to remove it from here, sum, and then it is going to be printed over here only, because outside we have not declared sum, so it won't be able to access the sum. Let's run this code. Enter the number. This time we enter 3 only, just to check that 6 comes or not. See, it came 123. It didn't came the value of 6 because we initialized it there. Like after here it would have gone at 1, 1 is smaller than 3, sum 1. Now it is storing the value of 1. Now again it went, and now it happens 2. So now again it is declared over here that sum is equals to 0. Now we can't access it directly as 2. Why we can't access it as 1? Because again we are declaring sum equals to 0, and when again we are going to do the sum, again it is going to come 1 only. That's why it's going to give you the garbage value. So that's why it is preferred to, in order to run the code properly, we have to remove it from here, and then we have to um, and then we need to declare it over here and declare the sum outside. I hope this would have been clear to you. I showed you the condition also, that if you would have entered the sum here, then again you are declaring the sum as 0, and again 0 plus 2. So this time it would have been 2, and then the sum would have been printed. And again you are initializing the sum as 0. So 0 plus 3 this time would have been done. So that's why it's coming 1, 2 or 3. Okay. And now you can run the code once again and check the value for 5. It is coming 15 or any value you want. So this was all for today, and let me just tell you that I understand there would be many parts which you would be finding it difficult right now to understand and learn. So what you can do right now, that you can dry run the code. Once you dry run the code, you build the logic also. Like, it's not necessary every time the same questions are gonna to be asked, right? So building logic along side by side is very important. So this was all for today, and I hope you can do with while loop and do while loop by yourself. Or if you want, then I can show you from while loop. Let me show you from while loop. I'm going to simply write int I equals to 1. I initialized it, and while I don't want this, as I'm showing you, I don't want to use this boilerplate. So while I is smaller than n or equals to n, also we can write I is smaller than n or equals to n, then what you need to do is that you have to print sum equals to sum plus I, and you need to just put the condition so that increment operator I equals, and I plus plus is the short form. I hope, like in the previous lecture, I have told you that it is the real, if we exaggerate the things and write, then it's I equals to I plus 1. So we are basically doing the short form I plus plus. And let's run this code. And wait, it's very important to print also. How you would get to know? Printf %d comma sum. Now let's run this code finally. Enter the number here. I entered 3, 6. So I'll give you one homework, that you do it with do while loop. And always remember, whatever you can do from for loop or while loop, everything can be done from all these loops, do while loop also. So it's very important at least you master one loop. And for exams, like if in exam the question comes that you have to solve the problem with do while loop only, so for those cases it's important for you to learn every loop. So this was all for today. Thank you. Keep learning and keep smiling.